Hey, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Paperback Club podcast. I'm Richard Knox, and with me always is my wonderful, awesome, great friend, Aliyes Richard.
Heyo.
How are y'all doing today? Great.
Let's just wait for them to respond.
So today's episode, we're going to be talking about what life will be like, what we believe life will be like after COVID-19.
Yes. A question I never thought I'd have to ask myself.
Yeah, well, we kind of touched on this subject before about what is life like right now during it. But, you know, we've had a lot of conversations with ourselves and people we know and acquaintances about what things are going to be like once we get past this pandemic. And it raised a lot of critical thinking in myself of how things were going to be like.
Yes, agreed. I know, first and foremost, I hope it ends sooner than later.
Tomorrow.
That'd be great. I know there's a lot of places who are actually like thinking, if not entirely opening up like parts of the city and stuff. And, you know, there's controversy over that. People want to get back to their lives, but also...
Especially near where we are, at least.
Yeah, because there's already nothing to do here. So when you shut down everything that you can do, you know, it's complete misery. And it's not fun.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, we actually live maybe 40 minutes away from Georgia itself, and their governor is the one that's trying to reopen just about everything, and fairly quickly as well. He's gotten a lot of backlash from, I think, both sides of the spectrum. No matter like political allegiance, there's still a lot of people. I've been seeing protests all throughout the country of people saying, you know, land of the free, I could do whatever I want, and I think. Not to ever be polarizing one, I think that's reckless. For someone like me, I don't really have grandparents, like blood grandparents that are alive to really worry about. I do have a special woman in my life who I call Nana, and she is Brandon's grandmother. And you know, when I think about it that way, I would rather be safe. So, you know, if people want to go out and do whatever they want, I'm not going to be, you know, trying to do as much as I can because the threat is still very real.
Yeah. Both of my grandmas are both alive and doing well, as far as I know, hopefully. And, you know, a lot of these things are it's new. It's you know, unprecedented and very scary. But I definitely am hoping that it ends sooner than later. One, so we can get back to our personal lives, but also so people stop dying, because that ain't good.
Yeah, and you know, I think like people around our age too, where we're the group that's like the least susceptible to like really have something life threatening like COVID affect us in that way. You know, you got to think of others, because you're not just affecting yourself.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I mean, I'm not susceptible. I'm not going to die from this, so I'm just going to go out and do my normal life. But if you're like a carrier of it, and then you go somewhere and, I don't know, through some means or another, you carry it, or whatever the word is, to, you know, someone who is susceptible, you're technically killing them in a way. I saw this post on Facebook, I forget from who, but they're like, anyone who is, you know, disregarding the quarantine or these, you know, social distancing methods or whatever, and are near like a susceptible group of people, should be charged for murder. Like, straight up. I was like, wow, that's, you know, you just don't think about stuff like that.
There's extremes in both sides.
Yeah.
It's like murder is kind of hard because you can accidentally give it to somebody. And,
yeah.
You know.
So it's just, you know, stay safe, stay home until it's over.
Unlike we're doing, obviously we're not practicing social distancing, but I literally see Aliyes every day of my life. So even if we weren't social distancing in our podcast life, our work life, and our social life, we would have already been done for.
Yeah. So I guess let's go ahead and hit the question of the week.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you're going to want to do as soon as things get back to normal? For those of you listening, I just did air quotes. Normal. The new normal, I guess, right?
That new. Yeah. What would be the first thing you want to do?
One of the first things I'm thinking is movies. Yes, you can watch movies in your house, but I was really looking forward to seeing Black Widow in theaters, which was originally supposed to come out May 1st, 2 days before my birthday. Every year, my birthday movie consists of a Marvel film, and that's been the way ever since, you know, Iron Man in 2008. but they actually had to push it back to, I believe, November 6th was the date.
Wow, that's a big pushback too.
Yeah, so that's going to really suck, and it's going to really push back the whole Marvel franchise, which I'm a huge fan of, and I've become accustomed to May releases. Sometimes they'll do like November or March releases, and their big summer hits in the middle. So that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I really took for granted like the cinema experience.
Yeah.
I loved going to the movies, and there was a long period of time where I didn't really ever have anyone to go with, so I didn't go. And then once I started getting my group of friends a little bit bigger again, and meeting people to go with, it was a wonderful experience. When we were in Miami, we went and saw Far From Home in theaters in a very nice theater. It was like
really
3 stories tall.
Yeah,
it was crazy. It was like I wanted to say it was like a Regal.
Yeah. It may have been. But it was far from the hotel. I was like, one more block.
We did
one
walk
more block
from the resort there, and the walk back was great too.
Yeah, because we were talking about the
Miami.
movie. Yeah,
we're talking about the movie the whole way we're walking, and it really wasn't that long of a walk. Maybe like a 20-minute walk, but.
Yeah. When you're expecting a 2-minute walk, it's long.
Yeah, it's right down the street. And that was a great experience too. So that's a good one to say something you're.
Yeah,
really
definitely other things, but that's one of my favorite, or top list. What about you?
So funny enough, I was just talking to Brandon about this and how bad I really wanted to go to Savannah. And that's another thing I took for granted. Like, we live about 45 minutes away from the city of Savannah, and for us, it's just like a normal thing. It's almost like living there. That it's just like, oh, it's just Savannah. Like, I've been there 1,000 times, but now not being able to go there and just go to the exact same shops I would go to every single time, and just look around, or the restaurants there too. Flying Monk Noodle Bar, one of my favorite restaurants there. Zoomsies, another one of my favorite restaurants there. It's just not worth the trip now to not be able to enjoy it the way I did before. So I'm just really excited about, just like I said, going back to normal and just being able to go to Savannah whenever I wanted.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I'm looking forward to is dining in at a restaurant. There's a lot of restaurants who have actually had to close their doors, some temporarily and some unfortunately for longer than temporary, permanently. I guess that's the next step, which sucks, right? It said we're taking an extended hiatus for about 3 years. I'm not a small business owner myself, but I can only imagine the stress that they may be under in this moment, especially if you have to give up your business. Like I'm not looking forward to it, obviously, but like there's a lot of restaurants here that I frequent often, and they're closed now, and maybe I just don't understand the small business owner aspect of it all, but I don't know how they're going to come back after this,
Yeah, I think we work for a small business owner, and we're trying to do everything in our power to make sure that we're generating sales, and we're making sure that the doors stay open. So in my head, when I'm thinking about, how we're doing in this state, I'm like, how can you not try to do everything possible? And then it's just me not knowing these people most likely are doing it. And, obviously where we are isn't affected as bad as some cities like LA.
Yeah, or New York.
There's a curfew, or New York, where they're just, you literally can't do anything. There's still very much, other than being able to sit down in a restaurant, most of everything's still open, and you could still go out and do whatever you want. So, in my head, I'm like, how can you not just go there and think, how can I bring this service to them to keep the business alive? Did you just roll over and just, I'm done? Yeah. But it would be preposterous to think that these people who have their livelihood on the line would do that.
Yeah. So it's definitely, not a great topic. Definitely. But I am looking forward to dining in at a restaurant. In the past, unless it's like a special occasion, I'm not a huge, I'd rather just take it to go and go home. But now that it's like the only option, I kind of want to sit down and enjoy a meal and stuff, And again, a lot of these places are probably closed for good, which just, it sucks. But I guess in serendipity aspect of it, I'll find a new restaurant.
Yeah, I wish I would have got into investing before all this happened.
Right?
Lysol, Clorox,
toilet paper,
DoorDash.
Oh yeah, DoorDash.
I told myself after this, I'm never ordering DoorDash again. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it's so
expensive. Everything's marked up, and I would be spending $25 at a restaurant. I'm leaving spending $40, and I'm like, or 45. I'm like,
Yeah.
how'd this happen?
Yeah, it adds up quick. So I mean, that's the luxury of not leaving your house.
It's like, no, you don't need a large anything.
It might as well. Yeah, I know. Like again, like you said earlier, I'll bring it back. I live in an apartment complex right now, and they have a pool. Anytime I've lived like in California, that had a beach, and as soon as I move away, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a beach to go to. And I think about it, I'm like, man, I never went to the beach or the pool.
No, I'm an aquatic creature. Okay, I had this conversation with a staff member the other day. I was like, I hate that it is spring break and I cannot go to the beach. I hate that I cannot go to a pool. I hate that I don't have a pool. Right.
Yeah,
that was one of the worst things about moving from an apartment complex to the house I'm in now was the amenities. I love the water. I love the pool. I could swim in a pool all day long. My eyes would hurt. They're all red and fuzzy, and I don't
Take a couple
care.
eye drops. I'm back. I'm back.
I'm so sad that I cannot go and do this.
Yeah, and that got me thinking too. It's crazy that it took this long for this virus to hit. I mean, if you think about it, just like everyday normal things. Now after the COVID-19 pandemic, I am looking at everything different. Like, can you even imagine going to a water park right now?
I can imagine going to any park right
yeah,
now. I saw a video of a whole bunch of families in a neighborhood going to the park. The police were called, and the police were like, "Hey, you have to leave." And they're like, "This is a public area. Like, are you going to arrest me? Like, what are you going to do? Because our kids are stuck inside at home. Why wouldn't you let them play at the park?" And for me, those guys are just doing their job. They're bad apples in any bushel. Okay, but to just go out and they're like, hey, for the public's safety, and you guys are going to give these people this hard time. And the biggest argument in the video I saw was they're like, oh, you work for me, I pay taxes. For people who don't know, people who work for like the county, for first responders, they also pay taxes. I just want to throw that out there. They also pay taxes as well. Right. But it's crazy. This is going to change the face of reality for us once this is over, because there's things that you're not going to go back for. Us being in the food and beverage industry, there's things we started doing curbside for everybody, where curbside wasn't really big for us. We have a big heavily populated military population and presence here. Whatever. So Marines can't come in or into a building in their fatigues, I believe. So if they'll call, we'll have no problem bringing it out to them. But now everybody, you could be an Uber driver, you could be a DoorDash driver. If you don't want to come in, you call us, we'll bring it out. That's probably not going to change. There's things that we put into place that now we've conditioned our guests to do it. People are going to be scared to go out.
Yeah.
Once we're allowed to, people are going to be so nervous that it's not like where they're going to say, hey, everyone's allowed out because there's zero coronavirus anywhere, or how it will be in any pandemic, like when the Spanish flu happened. There's just no way people are going to be hesitant. If they see something even minuscule that is wrong or doesn't look right, they're going to be triggered. They're going to be like, oh no, like this is bad. And, so it's definitely something being in the industry that we're in, thinking of, we're not going to be able to stop doing all the new things that we brought in to help combat this pandemic, because no one's going to feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think comfortable and feeling safe is going to be a big part of it.
Which, just so you know, for everyone in food and beverage, if you want to run a restaurant, you normally have to have a certificate with ServSafe, because if you don't cook things right, you could kill somebody. So for everyone who doesn't think food and beverage is essential and it's not a big deal and anyone can do it, we could kill you if we did not make this right. Okay? Add a pandemic into it, everything's off the table.
Yeah, this is just the purge through food service.
You're taking a gamble today. We're going to see.
Now, I did take the liberty of looking up some statistics. I'm a numbers guy myself, so hearing these numbers, gave me a different perspective into kind of what we're dealing with. So, real quick, the COVID-19 statistics for the Beaufort County area, we have 236 cases or confirmed cases, 9 deaths, and they haven't reported on the recoveries for it. I'm not sure why that is exactly. Either they just don't have a number yet, or they don't want to release it for some reason. I don't know. That's just what the website I found was. For South Carolina, what's that number say?
5,070.
5,070 confirmed cases with 157 confirmed deaths. And again, South Carolina is not reporting the recoveries. But the next two do have recovered numbers. Can you read the next two? Just
Yep.
because I can't
So
see 'em.
in the United States of America, whoop whoop, America baby, we got, maybe that was not a good thing to put in with all this.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
America, we got high numbers. No, this is bad. It's 953,000 cases. 102,000 have recovered,
Yeah.
and there are 53,625 deaths.
Yeah.
That is in the country of the United States of America. Now, globally, that's the whole world. For all you flat earthers out there, globally,
The circular.
we have 2.87 million cases, 812,000 recovered, and 201,000 deaths, which is a lot. So
Yeah,
when
it's
people think that
not
this
little.
isn't serious, and there's other things that I think about with this too, and obviously something on the same level, because I know a lot of news stations are calling it the novel coronavirus or COVID-19,
Because there was some in the past, right?
yeah, well, novel
Yeah.
being like new, yeah. So if you look at like a container of like Lysol wipes, the first thing it says it kills on there, and this is I saw this
Yeah, I know,
literally
you
as
told
soon
me.
as this started, it said it kills human coronavirus. And I said, how did you know this was going to be a thing to already have it on all your bottles of wipes? Because it's been around.
Yeah.
This is just like a newer version of it. And there's not really, I don't think, like a vaccine for it yet.
I don't
People
think so.
just, they build up the immunity. It gets in your system. You recover from it, I think, naturally. Obviously, when you go to the doctor, they're going to give you things that are going to help you physically inside your body to make you recover quicker or be more at ease. But I don't believe there's a vaccine for it. Unlike the flu, when people are like, oh, well, the flu kills this many people. Why? How come we haven't, shut down everything because the flu is around? And, that's because you have the option to get a shot.
Got them.
All you anti-vaxxers out there. If we receive a lot of hate from this, I'll be surprised, because I'm like, wow, this many people watch this.
Right.
Go watch it, you haters. Haters gonna make us famous. So this is serious. When we're thinking of almost 3 million cases in the United States, you're thinking, oh, well, there's billions and billions of people in the world. That's
still
also
a lot.
true. But have you ever counted to 3 million?
Do you know 200,000 people?
Have you ever seen 3 million of anything?
So I think the Madison Square Garden holds 30,000 people, and artists.
That's a big
and-
deal when you
that's like
get that
top
whole thing.
tier.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it is.
It's not a
very
joke.
serious.
It's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know I'm ready for it to be over with.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's
all,
just
all you can do
annoying
it's
in a way.
just a waiting game right now.
Yeah.
Just to be able to go out. I just don't want to go out and be seeing people wearing face masks.
Yeah.
This
that's the
feels
whole thing,
like
too.
China. Like how I always envisioned China before all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd always see pictures of people in China. They always had face masks. And I always assumed it was because of like the air pollution.
Yeah,
Or the smog in the air. That people were just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to breathe that in. Or why would I want to breathe that in? I know it's really bad in like areas like Mexico City too, which is even just as far as away, or in India. There's all these reporting of people haven't been out and the pollution has cleared so much you can actually see this. And I'm like, wow, could you imagine being like, I had no idea there was a mountain there.
Right. Yeah. No, I cannot. I cannot. Something else I was talking to Marley about the other day. I said, can you imagine all like the content that's going to come from the coronavirus? Like just imagine like conspiracy theories or like films.
Oh, they're already here.
Yeah.
They're trying to cover up the 5G towers.
Oh yeah, and 5G is like spreading coronavirus and stuff. So like
Yeah, that's the
conspiracy-
craziest one I heard.
Right. So like conspiracy theories, movies. Like the first thing that popped in my head is like a movie about like a bank heist that happened during the coronavirus or something. Just crazy,
It's like, yeah, well, no one was going to the bank, so they had the time and the energy. They weren't working.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a very weird time, and I really hope we get back to at least a similar normal. Because like you said, with the whole Savannah thing, I remember we had huge plans. I'd say huge plans in terms of our
I think they were
friend
big.
group. Yeah, big plans for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, St. Patrick's
because
Day.
it's like one of the biggest festivals in the world. For
those who don't know, Savannah has one of the if not the biggest in the United States, the second biggest, which
it's
I
up
think
there.
Boston might have the biggest one, but for some reason Savannah just kind of like latched onto it and said,
Yeah.
this is ours.
Yeah,
And it's huge.
And I think they've only ever canceled the festival one other time. And do you remember what that was for? Or
I don't.
I wanna say,
I didn't
like-
hear that it was canceled only once before.
I want to say like 9/11 or something, but also that's not the same time, so maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
that's definitely not the same time. Those are very
Yeah,
far apart.
it was something like they shut down for some
something big
particular reason,
happened.
but only one other time.
Maybe someone got assassinated.
Maybe
Someone
we'll have to
died,
look it
maybe.
up.
Yeah.
But they've only shut the festival down like one other time in history in like the 50 years they've been doing it.
But don't ask me that question.
Yeah.
either.
Okay. So a long
Where's
time,
our guy behind the
right,
camera with his
right.
laptop?
But they've never shut it down until, again, this is the second time they've ever had to do that, which was crazy. And we have plans to go out and do stuff and go places and try things. And that was the really first hit that like, wow, this is serious. And that was back in, was that February or March?
Well,
February 8th,
March. It's
March
at the beginning
18th.
of March. St. Patrick's
14th?
Day is.
I don't know the day.
But everything was weird at that time. Like we didn't know if it was going to be canceled. Yeah, we
mhm.
know things were getting canceled left and right, but
Yeah.
it ended up getting canceled, and it was really
Yeah.
sad. And we actually had a couple conventions. I think we were trying to plan as
Yeah.
well. And
I think we were actually supposed to be at one this weekend.
Yeah,
Maybe next weekend, one or the other.
And we have not been able to go to those. So that was really sad as well because one of them was one that we actually went to last year in Miami.
SuperCon.
I was super excited. This would have been my third year in a row going to SuperCon. And I actually think they're still doing it. They just pushed back the date
think so,
onto the 4th of July weekend like it was last year. I think they changed the date to be earlier this year, but then this happened. So I think they might have pushed it back in hopes that they can get it done. But, there's a lot of things where we had tried to make these plans and, everything's just in the air right now.
Yeah.
We have no idea what and when we're going to be able to do anything. So it's sad. But try to look on the broad side. Me and Elias are still working, which is great. There's a ton of people out there who haven't been able to go to work and they're wondering what they're going to do and how they're going to make ends meet. And
a lot of other people haven't, I think it's like I may be, again, we need that guy behind the computer, but I think this year, due to this, we've hit like the highest number of unemployment ratings like in history
since like
or
the
something.
Great Depression.
Yeah, some crazy numbers like that. So I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people who are like a lot of like younger people, I guess, like teenagers and stuff, like high schoolers or even early college kids are like, the school's canceled, everything in life's canceled, so you have nothing but free time. So use your time wisely. I mean, sure, at first if you want to relax and sleep in, watch Netflix, whatever. I've actually been using my like downtime to like reinvest in my like own skills and stuff. Like I'll be watching YouTube tutorials on like Photoshop or Lightroom. Or I mean, I actually just put out like a short film. For
which we're going to
film
link that
festival.
underneath because it was really good.
Yeah, I was really happy with it. I've been doing photography for like a year, and this guy I've been following, he put out a film contest, and I was like, okay, well, I've never done that, but I want to practice and learn something new.
You got to start somewhere
and try it. And so I had a lot of fun with it. I had like a 11-day window to do it from like the time he announced it to the time it was due. Excuse me. And I think it took me about 9 days of like jotting down ideas, and I couldn't come up with one, but like as soon as I nailed my idea, then it was just a matter of recording some stuff and going from there. I also have a drone or a quadricopter. I'm not sure the exact.
A quadricopter drone.
Yeah, it's something fun. A drone of some sort. So I've been using some of my downtime to fly that.
Yeah, I got to see that as well, and he let me fly it
fun.
as well, and it was a ton of fun. So not that we do have a lot of downtime. If anything, everyone's feeling that stress, and I think we've seen it with ourselves. We've seen it with the people we work with. We've seen it with our loved ones and our friends, and just how it's affected everybody. So I'm ready for people to just be able to breathe.
Yeah, without a mask.
Without a mask. Without a mask, because I also don't like wearing my masks out anywhere, but I do.
Yeah,
I wore it all day today when I was out and about doing things. I'm just like, I feel like, realistically, I felt like a ninja.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not a ninja, so I just felt like a weirdo.
Got him. Yeah, I know one time we went downtown and you brought me a scarf as like a mask, and
Yeah.
well, I was dying. It was so hot.
Yeah,
I
it was like wrapped around four
right.
times.
I'm like,
on
I'm
your
not
face.
even. It's not even worth it. I'm just gonna stay home, whatever, So shout out Amazon and FedEx drivers and mail people delivery couriers, because I don't want to leave my house. So shout out to y'all.
Actually, I want to say shout out to a lot of things. Everyone working the front lines, all the county workers, the police officers, the firefighters, the EMS, paramedics, all the mailmen, the mail women, the nurses, the doctors, everyone.
Food service.
Food service, the vets. I know I haven't seen a lot about vets, but they're still working, trying to make sure that your little fur babies are taken care of and risking exposure just to have you come in with their animal to make sure their animal's okay. So thank you. Thank you for everything that y'all are doing to make sure that the country's still running and that tax money is still being paid so the government stays open.
True. Yeah. So shop local.
Taxation is theft.
I think we can call it.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Paperback Club podcast. My name's Aliyes Richard. With me, as always, is Richard Knox. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell to be notified of future videos, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Play Music. And hopefully iTunes soon.
Hopefully iTunes soon.
Until next time, we are the Paperback Club.
Stay healthy.
Deuces.